So this segment we're going to be talking about Andrew Marr blasting Brexiteers, saying they're blaming everyone but themselves for the lack of Brexit benefits. And I have to give some credit to Andrew Marr because it looks like since leaving the BBC he actually understands how to do journalism, which is wild, considering how bad things were at the BBC, where he would ask a question, someone would say a stupid answer, and instead of quizzing them he'd be like, okay, moving on. So credit to Andrew Neil here.
Columnist Trevor Kavanagh, and today he warns the Prime Minister to get a grip, or it's the end of the Tories. Worried about Tony Blair's influence in the background, he says a Labour alliance with the Lib Dems would mean scrapping our current voting system, a dagger aimed at the heart of the Conservative Party and Brexit. Trevor finishes, it is a lethal recipe for perpetual coalition and the end of the Tories as the most successful political party in UK history.
Because let's not forget, the last time a party went into coalition with the Tory party, it didn't end well. For the DUP, apart from the bung money they got, it didn't really end well for them, did it? And look what happened to the Lib Dems. They had, I think, around 50 MPs back in 2010, and I think they have just over double digits now. I mean, the coalition with the Tory party absolutely decimated them.
Now, these are arguments you're going to hear up to and during the next election campaign, whenever it comes, and whoever is leading the Conservative Party by then. True blue Brexit believers are on the back foot. The latest YouGov poll shows 61% of people think the government has handled Brexit badly. Another recent poll asks how well Brexit has gone, and 54% said fairly or very badly. Just 2% said very well. Brexiters are, it seems, blaming everyone but themselves. Suella Braverman, the Attorney General, says Brexit is being wrecked by pro-EU civil servants, people The Sun today calls the new enemy within.
That's something, I've covered that as well. Not the Sun stuff, I didn't know about that. So shouts out Marr for that. But I've seen the Braverman article, her criticising the civil servants, and it's just really, really embarrassing because she doesn't even give any examples. So, do we believe her? No.
Others blame the BBC or the EU itself or Labour, even though it's out of power. Interesting.
That's a phenomenal point there, that they're blaming Labour. Labour haven't done anything. They'll blame the quote Surrender Act, but again, Labour were never in power. It's ridiculous.
There are Tories who blame Boris Johnson for not having sufficient grip. The Chris Prencher sex pest scandal isn't, to be honest, the biggest story of the year, but it's piling new pressure on the Prime Minister, and that has the effect on his future, on voters, and one day perhaps on our relations with the EU. This is politics, and everything connects. What I'm going to try to do tonight is to...
He's right, everything does connect, and you can see with, Brexiteers, they know that things aren't going well. They don't know how to fix it. They think that kind of pushing more into that direction is the way to go, but at the end of the day, it's really not. It's really not, because that's the thing that's put us in this position already. We're a country that can't even do the necessary import checks we're meant to do. We're a country that's struggling for, workers, struggling for food, struggling for energy, so much. This country is just wow. And, this is a small monologue here from Andrew Marr, but you can see, he looks a bit livelier than he did when he was at the BBC. I don't know what it is, someone, has he switched to coffee or something? I genuinely don't, but, I was a big fan of him. His documentaries were really good, so I'm glad to see he can actually do some real journalism now instead of just, letting people talk all over him during interviews. So shouts out to Marr. Seems everyone's leaving the BBC now, like all my favourites. But I'm glad they've kept Victoria Derbyshire, but I'm rambling about something else entirely now. But point being is that, Brexiteers are blaming everyone but themselves, but they have to take responsibility now. At the end of the day, each time you were promised a kind of Brexit, it's gone wrong. Daniel Hannan and the rest of the gang saying, we're not going to leave the single market. We left the single market. The ones that said we will face no trade barriers in the Irish Sea, lies. There will be no non-tariff barriers, lies. At every turn when something was promised that was based in Brexit or around Brexit, it was all lies, because you never got what you were promised. So the question is, what even is Brexit? Because now we're like most other third countries, apart from we're not in any kind of trading bloc, and that's really going to hamper us when we're very reliant on imports and we're very reliant on labour. When you look at, Labour as in workforce, not as in the party, when you look at the unemployment rate of this country, I'm going to cover a story soon. They're looking at trying to force people over the age of 15 to work because the UK's labour shortage is that bad. We've got, I think we've got record low unemployment, but also record high vacancies. How are you going to square the circle? You can't. You need more people to come in. You need to add more to the workforce. Trying to force a load of, not elderly people, but older people into the workforce is just not going to cut it. It's genuinely not going to work. You've got restaurants and hotels having to turn away workers. Where are you going to find the people from? That's the question asked Brexiteers, because evidently, how many more people are you going to try and force from unemployment into employment? It's just not happening. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Shouts out Marr. For once, give him some credit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.